All right, peace, peace, peace. This is Vegan Simba. We have the original squad on the panel, but one, his name is AD. And before we get to AD, please like, share, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, follow our community page on Facebook or Instagram. And yeah, um, so yeah, we have A plus, Waves, Steph Lover, and AD on the panel. So AD, just a quick introduction of yourself, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Adrian X Mayat. I also go by AD. People probably wondering why my where did I get my moniker from? Well, I kept Adrian because Adrian is the masculine part of my name, which means a person that lives by the sea, and then Mayat, which is the feminine aspect, and X because I don't know my real last name like Malcolm X. So
Hmm.
I chose to put X and then I put Mayat at the end for the feminine aspect of the Kemet goddess called Mayat, and she stood for justice, peace, reciprocity, uh, and things of that sort, truth and balance and harmony. So yeah, so that's why my name is Adrian X Mayat, and I go by AD as well. Just to give you a little quick background of why my name is Adrian X Mayat. So my YouTube information is Adrian X Maya Enlightenment, where I'm talking about African spirituality, politics, culture, current events, and things of that sort. In addition to that, I have another YouTube channel. It's a fitness channel and a meditation channel. It's Adrian X Fitness and Meditation, along with my podcast programs, Adrian X Maya on Anchor, Spotify, uh, uh, Google Cast, Amazon Music, which I just got a part of. And you can check out interviews I've done with Dr. Umar Johnson, Urema Karama, and martial artists as well. Cool Breeze. So yeah, shout out to everybody that I've interviewed and people that I've talked to in the community. So thank you for having me on this broadcast today. I definitely appreciate it.
Respect, respect. That was good. Man. That was good. Thank you. A plus Waves, Steph Lover, how y'all doing?
It's Friday, bro. It's Friday, doing well.
Cool, cool.
I'm blessed that I got through another week, and I am excited for the weekend to relax with the family.
Alright, cool, cool. Waves?
I'm great. I'm great. Alive to see another day. Thank God. So appreciate that each and every one of them and try to make the most of them.
Alright, cool, cool. Yeah, I'm doing good too, man. Glad I'm on this. All of us is on this broadcast right now because we got about to get into probably some things that's deep. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Woman King again. For some of you guys that watched the previous one, we did it with the ladies and we let them, speak, talk, and we spoke as well. But I think we can get deeper in it, and there's some things that I really want to talk about. I think we should discuss, and because we have a lot of issues in the community. I don't believe in that there is not, not black community, but like because there is supposed to be unity in a community, and there's not much unity in the community. I think we have multiple communities in the community, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's get it right into it. So I know AD, you haven't watched the movie, but you're gonna understand what
Uh,
I mean. Hmm?
Yeah, I understand the agenda that's going on and in the bigger picture of what's going on. I have not seen the movie, so I don't want to be confined to my own predispositions, my own prepossessions and confirmation biases. So once I watch the movie, I know you're gonna give some spoiler alerts and stuff like that. So I'm fully to prepare to expound upon those particular points. But for me to just actually just say, oh, I can give an analysis, I'll be a fool to try to do that. But what I can say is you had brought up community or whatever. I don't really think we have a lot of communities in America because like
Hmm.
the noteworthy Dick Gregory said that a community consists of hospitals, banks, schools and grocery stores, and we don't have. That's not really prominent. Black people are excelling individually speaking, but collectively speaking, we don't really make up as far as the wealth, the generational wealth between us. It's no more than a percent, a 1%. So yeah, I think, yeah, just to kind of go of what you said on that, if that makes sense.
No, I got you. Yeah, community definitely. I agree with you. I was just talking about like families that have some. There are a few families that have their own bank. They may not have hospitals, but they may have homeschooling, or they may home birth, stuff like that. Just small little families within a community, but like I understand what you're saying. Um,
Right. Yeah.
mhm.
Not to say that we're not evolving or not. There's no type of I don't like to use the word progress, but we are evolving and we are growing in many ways more than ever. So yeah, this is the age of information where I think we're eating better, we're learning more, and things of that sort. So yeah, it's not to say that it's all bad, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Right. Right. So first things first. So there was a scene in the movie. So it's the basically the Woman King is about the Homi tribe. Homi tribe is, I think, is currently Benin today or something like that. And they a lot of stuff in the movie is not real, but um, yeah, there's a lot of slave trade and stuff like that that they did. And I heard that what I've researched and heard as well, or well, mainly the research is what they I think the Brit, whoever it was, the British or the white people, whatever, they stopped it at some point, but they continued the Homi tribe. They continued the slave trade. So that's a little thing on that. But the one part in the movie that I want to talk about is was I could say flamboyant. He was in the movie. They always like when Black Panther came out, they wanted to have like I guess an alphabet person in the movie. And I'm talking about LGBTQ. They want
Mhm.
him in the movie. They always want to force it on like a black movie or whatever. And they got it in this one, of course. And it was a man, but I didn't understand why it's in the movie. So I just wanted to ask all of you, like, why do you think, just your opinion, why do you think they pushed that in the movies that were, a lot of black people or these historic movies or whatever?
Well, it's a lot of reasons why. I mean, to keep us divided in the home. When it comes to man and woman, they want to make the man more like a woman, and they want the and vice versa, pretty much. So, and Dr. Francis Cress Wilson had predicted this stuff like in her research back in the day. So over like 3 decades ago, she was talking about how hip hop and Hollywood is trying to effeminize men more and more, and it's heavily being influenced by the youth because of social engineering. That's what they call it. So yeah, it's just a lot of social engineering and a lot of bad politics that ain't from the grassroots, that don't represent really the people. It's more so about the I'm gonna spell it backwards, the GA or the YAG agenda. So it's more about that than having a family and sticking together and create generational wealth. They want us to be more divided because they can make more money off of it. It's sensationalism, it's capitalism, it's hedonism, it's all these different it's heathenism, all that culture that they're promoting to try to reverse things, like they're playing this God role. So it's a lot of different factors that play into why this is happening. And if you guys want to really learn, just study what Dr. Francis Cress Wilson was talking about, and even what Sister Shiraz Ali talks about as well. So, but yeah, I'll land my plane right there and let someone else expound on what they believe.
Well, to touch base on it, well, I basically just piggyback off of everything that AD was saying, which he definitely laid out very eloquently. They just try to make us look like bitches, bruh. Uh, like the dude he served no purpose in the movie, even though it was just a small portion of the movie. And we only seen him once. He served no purpose, and it's been like, since centuries of trying to incarcerate black men, trying to have us kill each other and make it look like it's only black on black violence, like white people don't have white on white violence. But basically, like he was saying, they're trying to emasculate black men.
Mhm. How other are there other ways they emasculate black men?
He said, "Are there other ways?"
Yeah, what they do they yeah.
Well, they have in Hollywood. It appears that there's this thing in trying to get black male individuals into wearing dresses. It's been like this thing where they're like, who I don't know which comedian said that they was trying to get him to wear a dress and he wasn't going for it, and then he noticed that
Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle,
yeah,
Yeah.
he felt like he
he
got
was
like
on Oprah.
blacklisted.
Yeah, yeah.
He went to Africa or something after that. He
Yeah,
turned
there's a
off
new
the
person that even happened to. I don't know if y'all noticed that nobody really talks about Young Thug no more. After he came out and spoke about the fact that he regret wearing that dress on that cover album and what it was doing to younger people in society, which nobody talked about, all of a sudden he's quiet too now.
Yeah, he got hit with that
And
thing.
Rico, yeah.
Rico.
My fault. That's true. He's not that
Nah,
quiet.
but honestly, even on a biological level, they got so many different things that decrease male testosterone, just decreasing your testosterone from the foods to the radiation and certain materials that you wear and plastic and all these other things. There's a lot of things that even just decrease our testosterone and increase estrogen levels in our bodies on a biological level. So even that's a way to emasculate men or whatever. And most times when it comes to like food and things like that, most black men in the country, we live in a food desert where there's not a lot of nutrient dense foods that's available, but there's a whole lot of fast food available, and all that fast food and that garbage that also decreases our natural testosterone levels and increase our estrogen levels. So even
Right.
that is emasculating us that we're not even paying attention to.
Hmm. And also starting from the home as well. I was seeing what you guys going to say about like mothers, like single mother homes. They basically a lot of times, not of course not all, I put all in there, not all. I mean, they it starts from there, like emasculation. Telling them to clean the floor, wash the dishes, clean the bathroom. It's not a boy's job. You know what I mean? It's just not. And they don't understand that, and they think they can raise a boy, and they cannot, because men cannot raise girls to be women. So I think I think the system kind of plant that seed in the black woman's mind that they should be doing this to boys, and it's wrong. You know what I mean? Who else? Oh, everyone went. So
But Simba, I don't think it's a problem for a man to know how to tend to a house or whatever, to do the cleaning and to do all these other things. I don't think it's a problem that they know how to do it. I think it's a problem when their mothers or their fathers or whoever's rearing them is telling them, hey, this is what you must do. This is what you have to do. This is your role. And it's like, I mean, no, it's not my role. I'm a man. I'm supposed to be out there. I'm supposed to be gathering. I'm supposed to be hunting. I'm supposed to be bringing meat back home to the crib. And I think that's when it becomes a problem because, God forbid, something happens to your wife. You don't know how to take care of the house until your children get of age or your
You
daughters
should
get
get
of age
another
to be
one.
able to take care of those duties.
You should get
You know what I'm
another one.
saying? So it's not a problem that they know how to do it. It's a problem when they're forced to think that this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you have to do. And it's like, nah, I'm supposed to be providing for my family, you know? So
the community's not really have a structure for that. So that's it's not that's what's going to keep happening. And people ask and say, well, what's the solution? People say like the solution is to get black women and black men together, but you got to think deeper than that. You have to get to the mind. You know what I mean? Subconscious mind, mind, period. And you gotta. It starts from the home, which is a lot. There's in this so-called community. There's a lot of single mothers in that community. So we need to get to them because the system already got to them. They spend the most. They're the most in debt. People say they're educated, not the most educated, they're most enrolled. And yeah, they're just in that. They invest in like nails and hair. I'm not saying nothing is wrong, but other things, you need to fix other things. You need the man in the home. But I don't know. That's what I think. Um, I want to go into the next one. Yeah, so this one might be up to Ali AD. So there was a scene in the movie where this light skinned guy, he was with I guess the Europeans who teamed up to do the slave trade with the homie. This light skinned guy, he was like in the river or something, and he got out and he met up with one of the homie woman, and she saw his cross like for the first time or whatever, and I think that was like a moment in the movie. I think, and people always say, "Oh, Christianity was always there" and all this stuff, and none of these people really know, but they think that. Um, but I want to ask you guys like, what message can you get from that? Because she was very shocked and she's very like curious, and if you could say anything about that part, you don't gotta go too deep in the movie. Just from because people always say Christianity was always there. Obviously, they were spiritual people from what I read. Anybody? Or you want me to ask in detail? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Now, I was processing everything you were saying.
Okay.
So you want us to touch base on spirituality in the movie, basically
All right.
on the concept that the white man comes with religion to persuade melanated people.
Yeah. So a lot of movies. I think there's a movie I was watching recently. I was watching Carrie. I don't know if you know Carrie. It's like she, yeah, it's a movie. But
It's
she's
like a horror
always,
movie.
yeah, it's a horror movie. And she was always wearing a cross. And other movies like that, they always at least kind of show it. And I think it's a big impact in the movie because they showed it in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's impact in the movie and also the people that's watching. Um, yeah. So I would say, why do you think they're doing that? Per se? I mean, it's probably a simple answer, but I just wanted to like, talk about it, maybe like bump into something else.
Can I throw a little monkey wrench out there
Yeah,
going back to the movie?
yeah.
Even though I haven't seen the movie, what do you think about the narrative of just me playing devil's advocate and going on Viola Davis's side? I'm not on her side, but just picture me in her position. She comes with the narrative of, you know, it's just Hollywood, it's this story is not meant to, you know, historically be accurate, but instead just, give hope for young girls. What about the girls, What
Mhm.
about them? Because it's all the dark skinned girls. They need to see this image of you know, of them of a strong black woman, and they don't get to see that, So what? I'm just playing this role like a superhero for them. So what is wrong with that? Like, what is you guys' response to her if she's to say that? Because that's the type of mentality that they have. It's this mentality of where they're so ingrained in what they're doing that they lose sight of racial consciousness, of the righteousness of the racial consciousness of the people, which is the grassroots, and the righteousness of being righteous in your intent. You know what I'm saying? What's you guys' response to her, or people that think like that? They're thinking that the symbolism is more important than the actual, what it's doing to the subconscious of the kids and of the, of the whole black people as a whole, keeping the household divided and things of that sort, et cetera, et cetera.
Um, me, like I said before, the system, like I said, the white system has a hold of the black woman's mind, and to make them believe that that black women have never been um, seen. I don't know, but she is damaging to all the kids, like the boys and the girls, but specifically the girls, because putting them at the top is not going to help. If we're trying to build something, it's not going to help. It's just going to make everything worse. They're going to grow up and trying to chase something to make a lot of money, and their value will decrease, man. Because if you want to go into manosphere talk, more money you have, for women to let your options get lower. I mean, the type of man that you want, and that's what it does to little girls when they grow up to be women. It's kind of like this woman. She was I think Miss USA or Miss America, and she was like a lawyer, and everything was good. I think the last interview she had was with Denzel Washington, like a week before she jumped off and deleted her. So, and that's the result of what Viola Davis is doing. That can happen, but no one wants to talk. No one talked about it like that. So yeah, that's my take on
I think that I wouldn't have as much of a problem with the movie if they didn't state that it was based on a true story or based on facts. Like that that movie was a straight up lie. And
Mhm.
to have something that you're saying, oh, it's going to empower the young black women and this and that and this and that. It's like, yo, y'all could have just named it a different movie and not base it on actual people and actual characters that lived in history, and then twist the whole story, because I think that's manipulation to further the agenda of dividing our community, of the black community or whatever. So that's me personally or whatever. So for Viola Davis to say, hey, it's empowering to the girls and all these other stuff, it's like I would have sided with her if the case was a fictional, it was based on fiction, and they said it's based on a true story. So just off that fact alone, it's like, no, you're lying to us, and you're misshaping our history, and you're going along with the flow of exactly what they've been doing to us for so many years, and they're whitewashing things and doing all this stuff so that we don't get the true nature of who we are and where we come from. If we don't know who we are and where we come from, we're bound to make the same mistakes and allow these same perpetual cycles of negativity and division keep going. So that's me personally.
Hmm. Wave stuff. Nah.
Hello?
Wave, Steph Lover, what's up?
Yeah, no, I mean I definitely agree on and side that in terms of how you say miseducating people in our history. See now, I similar to the same stance that A plus took. I don't really have a problem if it was a straight fictional movie with a bunch of fictional characters. I have a problem because they took our history and just tried to perpetuate it to be something that it really wasn't. There's so many tribes in Africa that did momentous, great things with women in it and women helping, leading the charge, and so forth. That you could have just took the truth and put it out there to empower them. You don't have to, if anytime somebody has to lie to make you feel better, then that means you shouldn't really feel better. It's not real because they lie to you. Like if they say, "Oh, you look good today," and you look a mess. Don't lie to me. Let me know I look a mess. So I can fix it. If I need empowerment, then show me real things that we have done or we did do or are currently doing because I can't repeat something that's completely false and made up.
True. True.
Now there is power in an imagination, but not fantasy. There's a difference between the two. Because when we imagine things, that's how man-made structures are built. A man have to imagine that, and then that's an idea, then that becomes materialized and it becomes a physicality. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And the same applies with the airplane. When the man saw a bird flying in the sky, he got inspired to from nature to make up an airplane. So just thinking of that, we have to be able to materialize, go against the grain, against the agenda, and make it become obsolete by doing programs that's promoting generational wealth and apprenticeship and martial art programs for men and women and things of that stuff, so we can, have this real community and have more hospitals and things of that sort. And we are doing that. I'm not, like I said, I'm just looking at the totality of things, and you guys are completely right. One thing I want to kind of go back on to, one more thing, is when you guys were talking about Young Thug. Um, Jay-Z predicted that in his lyrics when if you go back to that Reasonable Doubt album,
Mhm.
and he said that he was talking about everything was all good just a week ago. If
Mhm.
somebody can find that clip and play that shit, play that verse where he was like everything was just a week ago. He was talking about everything that Young Thug going through right now. Talking about, he was like Jay-Z, like it was like he was a fucking Negro Damas or some shit, you know. He was Negrodamus, and he predicted that shit, like about the RICO charges and having all the flashy cars and shit, but promoting drug selling and killing, and now you in jail, and everything is getting repoed. And that was pretty much of the nature of the verse that he laid down. But I don't want to fuck up the verse or nothing, but he put it so elegantly, though, you know what I mean. But anyway, regardless, yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my thought. I'm gonna leave it there.
All right, I want to start up another topic right here. This one is like manosphere, or it's not what sound like manosphere, manosphere thought. Um, there was a scene we spoke about it before in the last one. We spoke with the ladies about the king, actually the actual king. He said, he said it to one of the homie warriors because after she went through these obstacles and she won, and she showed her bravery. He said, if you weren't so skilled, I would have made you my wife. So if you weren't so skilled, I would have made you my wife. And I saw this as that he wants femininity. That's what I see. Because she was showing, of course, masculinity to, get to the first, like what is she doing through the obstacle? Of course, I know AD, you didn't watch the movie, but as a question is, why do you think, this is a simple question, why do you think men, there are, all, I believe most men, could be all men, but I think most men want femininity. But I think many black men in the community, because many of them are average, many black men are average, and they can't really act with femininity because not even with their body language, they can, but because they don't make as much average black men, they have to kind of settle. They don't have to settle, but they do settle. But why do you think most men want femininity? Just for the women who are listening to understand where our perspective.
Because we're straight. We don't want to be with each other.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think as the main reason of every man wants to be a man, like in layman's terms, and it's very hard to be in your most masculine if you're not partnered with somebody in their most feminine, because that's what the true unity of the both divinity is, having that masculine and that feminine. So if there's two of one inside the same pool, it makes it very hard for us to thrive together. So I know that's why I want it. That's why I want it.
So there's a rapper that go by the name Finesse Two Times. So he recently stated that he broke up with his girlfriend because she was too
That's
masculine.
crazy.
She was like, they be going out to the mall or wherever they go, and then she be like, gang. She call him gang. It's just the way he's like. She talks like how he talks. So he's just like he don't want to be with him. Somebody that's himself. He's like he wants to be with a woman because the person is a woman and acts like a woman. Like basically gender role. You a woman, be a woman, be in your femininity. I'm a man, I'm gonna be in my masculinity, and I shouldn't. Why we trading places?
I think what you did was good. I think a lot of like Kevin Samuels, I guess Freshman Fade, and all those other guys you guys know about. I think they really influenced a lot of these rappers, and some of them going to be coming out and talking. They might be not. They probably can't say certain things, but they're just going to move in a certain way. It's going to be. I think there's going to be a shift. You know, like the manosphere is going to shift things, and that's why a lot of people don't like it. I don't know if you know about Cynthia G. She's like, I don't know, she's talking about boarding black boys and all this crap, but y'all can research her, but she's not relevant. But yeah, I think it's going to be a big shift. But I think, yeah, that's unattractive. That I think some women really believe that they should act that way to attract men, and that's not the case.
Yeah, and I think it's they know that so many men are just thirsty. So no matter how they act or act out, somebody's gonna be catcalling them or chasing after them because to them that still means that they're attractive and they're wanted or they're valued because of those things.
AD. Yeah, you good?
Yes, sir.
Alright.
I
Yeah, I
could
heard the
barely
question.
hear. Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't.
So what was the question again? My apologies, man. I don't mean to make you repeat yourself.
Okay. Can you hear me though?
Yeah.
All right. I was saying like in the scene there was a I could repeat it. In the scene there was a part where the homie tribe warrior woman, she went through this obstacle and she won. She showed like a bravery, kind of like a man the way she did it. Um, the king, the actual king of the tribe, when she made to the finish line, I guess he went up to her, she went up to him or whatever, and he said, "If you weren't so skilled, I would have made you my wife." So what I got from that is that he wants a feminine woman, and his wives in the movie are all, I guess, soft. You can say they're not like the warriors, so they just. But they made, I think Waves mentioned this. They made the wives look kind of, you know.
Stupid. That's a nice way to put it. I mean, I wanted to
I
point something
think
after they speak.
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes, bro, because it's like it's the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine aspect. It's like they attract each other. It's gonna always attract each other, and it's not that men want femininity. That's a necessity for men, just like it's a necessity for a woman to have a man that's masculine. So they expect us to be already in our masculinity when we are, presented in our first self, our first impression, because what makes up masculinity is protection, provision, problem solving, and procreation. So for them, it's like they're going along with the agenda. And Sister Shiraz Ali, I want to go back to her again. She always, was an advocate on our side and saying that women, always are with us when it's time for us to be in the bedroom. But when shit gets tough, when we sacrifice and we do protect and we ask you to do certain things, just asking for basic respect, we can't even get that because we are not valued. We're treated as a luxury rather than a necessity because we build the world around women, about around everybody. So we need to be granted with the basic, respect. So just being in your feminine aspect, smiling, saying hello, just being friendly is just being cool, just on a platonic level. I'm not even looking at it at a, relationship or wife, aspect, just looking at it from a humane standpoint, that's just your nature, you know what I'm saying, to be feminine. And it ain't up to a man to make you or program you to be feminine, because that's not our job. You're supposed to submit, a woman's supposed to already submit to her own femininity, and that takes a lot of different practices she has within herself that has nothing to do with men. So this narrative too, oh, if he's so masculine, then even an alpha woman gonna submit. No, that is not true, because you're always trying to compete with the other with it's two alphas fighting for competition for power. So it's more Machiavellian games, it's more witchcraft that people keep going along with, keep on trying to fight for. It's supposed to be masculine and feminine. That's what it is. I'm gonna land my plane there, and I'm gonna make emphasis on that.
Yeah, like I think there's a thing called natural law, and when that's disrupted, then there will be chaos. There will be consequences. That's what's happening now. I don't know if you know about the eviction. A lot of black women. There was 6.3% of black women will be evicted, have eviction notice. And there was this, I think O'Shea Duke Jackson just talk about a woman deleting another woman, a black woman deleting the landlord or whatever because she's about to get evicted. A lot of this stuff is going to happen, and the reason why that's happening because they accepted the welfare over demand, the food stamps, all that stuff, and
That
you know,
meanwhile, white women went right back to her men, and they kept, even though they was fighting for their rights, they went
right.
right back to their men. Or even if they did turn lesbian, that ain't got nothing to do with you. They ain't got nothing to influence you on. We need to fight for our family. That's what's on the line right now.
Mhm. And even like Trump said, grab him by the you know what, and who voted for them? A lot of white women voted for him still because they know they're not ready for no woman to be king. I'm the same.
That
I'm not saying.
wow. See, you get what I'm saying? They get it, man. They get
Right.
it, man.
Yo,
They
I
became
like how Simba brought that.
they became hyper vigilant for their feminist agenda.
Mm-hmm. You
They
said what?
would be bat women and
Mhm.
cat women for the feminist women agenda. That's they the superheroes for them for the agenda of that. That if you want to equate it to that, put it in some geeky nerdy terms.
Nah, I like how Simba brought it back to the movie. That was smooth. I peep you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a low key wordsmith. Low key.
Nah, high key.
But I don't think you answered on A plus. Did you answer? I was talking about the femininity, what the king said to the homie tribe. Remember that part? I don't know if you heard it. You're out. A plus. You disappeared.
Oh,
Can't
while
hear.
he's away. Oh,
Okay. I go. Go ahead.
well,
No, I
yeah,
missed
no.
that. I didn't hear what you said because I got disconnected.
Okay. I was just saying. So there was a. I could do it again. This part is cool. There was a. You saw the movie, right? No. Yeah.
I saw it. I did see it.
Oh, okay. Remember the part in the movie where one of the what's her name, Naui, when she went to do the obstacle, and she went back to help her friend, and then she helped her friend, and she went back to do the obstacle, and she won, and the actual king told her to come up, and he said, if you weren't so skilled, I would have made you my wife. If you weren't so skilled, spoke about it before in the last podcast for today, but I wanted to ask like, well, I see all that as femininity. Basically, he wants femininity. That's what I'm thinking. Like that's what he desire because that's what he had. If you saw his wives, and I was saying like, why do you think men want or desire femininity? That's basically.
I think it just becomes too stressful when you're trying to battle for dominance. It's like there's what's his name? Adrian said it. Adrian said it earlier when he was saying the yin and the yang. It's like the opposites attract. And when you battle for dominance, you know what I'm saying? And eventually y'all just gonna start just repel, and y'all not gonna gel together. So just on a simple level, it's too stressful to fight for your dominance. It's like, yo, I'm doing everything that I need to do as a man. You don't have to do the extra stuff you're doing. You don't have to talk to me the way you're talking to me. Like, I don't disrespect you. I don't beat you. I don't hit you. I'm not like, I treat you like a queen is supposed to be treated. You don't have to. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's stressful, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, so that's just the simplest way I could put it. Because I know if I was fighting with my woman all the time for respect me, this and that, and you don't see what I'm doing, you don't appreciate what I'm doing, and all this other stuff, I'm like, I don't want to be there. I go somewhere else where I am appreciated, where I am respected, when my efforts are seen for what it is. And it's like, nah, he's a good man, and he's doing what he got to do for his family and for myself, for me. Even if my lady was making more money than me, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot that I still provide. Um, Emotional stability, a spiritual and a priest of my household, and a guide. Like, we have vision, and we plan our futures. So, and the I believe a good woman really supports that vision. And when you are steering going wrong, they give you that little nudge to get you back on course. But they don't tell you what to do. Oh, you doing this, you doing that, this is what you need to do, blah blah blah. It's like, nah, I'm doing what I need to do. You don't tell me what I need to do. So I think it's just stressful when you're battling for dominance, and when you have a masculine woman. So that's me.
I don't think you should have a masculine woman, and also I don't think you should be arguing with a woman. I mean, it's like what Yahshua said: turn the other cheek. You know what I mean? Turn the other cheek. I meant Jesus. I meant, yeah, you know what I'm talking
No. The first name was better. It's more real.
about. Yeah. So Waves, you had something to say though. You said something to say before.
Oh, now I'm just gonna bring another perspective or on it, on not other than the fact of just looking at it as he was looking for femininity. I took it as like another angle they were taking a jab at our black woman,
Mm,
because he made it sound again like he only marries unskilled pretty women,
mm,
and it makes it look like either you're a brute that fights, or you're a dumb broad that's just pretty to be married. And it took away from even the several layers of our black women. And I think that was in itself even like a little jab. And then part of, I think, being masculine is knowing when and where to spot an attack on your home or on your woman. And I think that was one of them as well. Because how do you describe her beauty but ignore the fact that anything else she showed, whether it be her fighting skills or the compassion part, and make it sound like you only are willing to marry dumb, beautiful women? Like it connected to the part of why I stated with the movie that even though it's too much lies to make a person feel good. You can't feel good from a lie, because even with his wives, it made them look like they were no use to the tribe other than looks. And we all knew that he had several wives to add to the tribe, to add to increase in the unification of what the home needs. It made it look like, nah, this one is really good looking, so I'm gonna take this one too. So I just thought there was another angle to see how they were trying to downplay the many layers of the strength of a black woman, what she provides to the tribe and to the society.
okay. Steph, can you hear me? Because there were like two of you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. I want to talk about like one more thing. Um, just one more thing. And you guys have anything to say about that, or that's it? Yeah, good. Straight. Yeah. No. All
No,
right.
I'm good.
All right. All right. Cool. Cool. So yeah, there was a. This is gonna be the last thing. So, but before that, I want everybody who's watching, thank you for supporting Anecdotal Man Cave. Please like, share, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Instagram and follow our community page as well. Respect. All right. So there was a scene where so Viola Davis had a scene with her daughter. Well, I already gave that spoiler. But that was that movie came out. But when she found out that it was his daughter because she was raped when she was younger by men in the movie. Of course, they showed it in that part, and I think that part was like powerful too, as in like the way they showed it. But yeah, and she gave her daughter away, and I can relate that to today. We watch a lot of movies like like Tupac, Brenda had a baby. Trying to remember the scene in that one. But like they would give them away, they have a kid young, give them away, and then later on they'll find out that the child is theirs. That they reunite with their child, but it can cause a lot of trauma with the young girl. Also for the mother too, but it causes a lot of trauma. And in the movie, they don't talk about that part. They only talk about them, but we can see it. So I don't know what would be the question. So why? And also they also have the sister code too. Not sister code, but the sister love or mother daughter. How they have the son husband. I don't know what they call the mother sister thingy. That doesn't benefit the daughter because the daughter is supposed to be the future. It's like the boy. So what you guys have to say about that part? AD, if you understand what I'm saying. Or anybody else.
Nah, you're gonna have to explain the question a little bit more because I was like, are we discussing the whole process of her being raped and then given up for given away or whatever? Are we talking about the bond between the sisterhood between all of them?
No, not the part being great. I was just explaining that part. I was just saying the trauma of the daughter, the child. Why is that not discussed?
I mean, it's a movie. I don't. It's a movie. I mean, I don't know how long you can make the movie that you're gonna be able to touch base on something like that. But I see where you're coming from. But I don't know how. I mean, I don't know who's in charge of the script. I don't know how long they could have even touched base on that. But you could tell there was definitely trauma there because when she first found out that was her mother, I think she like ran to the front and looked like she spent the whole night crying or whatever. And I don't think in the movie they like really worked through anything because there was just so much happening the whole entire time.
Right.
But I can see how that would be traumatic to many black young ladies who were watching the movie, and so forth. Because like we never really got to figure out like, hey, like she didn't really. I don't think she really explained to her, hey, why she did what she did. Because I mean, like I said, the young lady could have felt like unwanted.
It's a good point when you said it could be like I don't know if you said trauma bond, but like a recurring event, like in like black women or young girls who watch the movie, like emotional part. They can take it any way they want, but
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Which I think.
Hey, plus you could go ahead.
Yo, bro, don't volunteer me when I ain't got nothing to say, all right? I'm listening, and I'm learning right now. I'm listening to what you talented and wise men have to say, all right?
Hey, nobody ever used the words wise with me. I don't know you go there. No, I know you cap it.
No, my bad, lover. You're right. I used the wrong word for you. But everybody else on the panel, though.
I was saying like maybe we could say like how we can relate to today. That they might say the same thing, but just from your perspective, like how do you see it relates? Because I could see how it relates to today. It's not being solved. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, where I come from and the things I've dealt with in my past, I've seen a lot of mother and daughters with like bad relationships, really really toxic relationships, and to the point where it's like I don't know, like the mother competes with their daughter and makes the daughter feel less than in order to, I don't know, to make themselves feel better about themselves. Like, I don't know. I've heard one woman say to their granddaughter, like, "Oh, I'm 60 years old and I look better than you. I'm in shape. I'm this. I'm that." And it's like, yo, why would you say that to a teenage girl? Besides to break her self esteem and to break her. You know what I'm saying? What do you expect her to go into the world and do or accomplish if you're not uplifting her and encouraging her and being a mentor to her? You know what I'm saying? So I don't. As far as that goes, I've seen just a lot of broken relationships. It's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? Because aside from the mother daughter bond, this is a side note. Like growing up, I saw my parents fighting a lot, and I honestly didn't know what a good relationship looked like. All I knew was what I didn't want for my own relationship. And eventually, I'll be like, "Yo, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this." And lo and behold, that's what I started to attract in my own life and in my own relationships. But once I started to change my mindset to what I do want and the good things and envisioning a brighter future for myself, that's when I started getting those things. So even for that mother-daughter relationship, we get women to mentor young girls in a positive manner, the girls growing up and the people that's going to be our future, our mothers and our leaders, they're going to have a positive mindset and have a good view of what they want in the world and a good view of what they want for their families, and that's what they will start to attract, and that's what they will start bringing into the world. So I don't know, I think it's for the older women to start mentoring our girls, but I guess they also got to fix their own mindset too. You know, therapy, becoming more spiritual. I feel like a lot of women are very materialistic. So becoming more spiritual, becoming more self-aware, doing more self-analysis, and self conscious diving where they can just analyze the trauma that they've been dealing with and start to fix themselves so they can mentor the younger girls. And I just that'll help grow the community and build a family, you know? So
You did mention that the mothers or the mothers are in competition with the daughters. I could see that. I remember an episode with Kevin Samuels when he was saying, um, yeah, mothers are competing with the daughters, and mothers don't want their daughters to talk to older men. They're saying, "No, he's too old," whatever, because they want that same man. If their mother is like 45, the dude is like 40, the daughter's like 21 or something like that. She don't want it because it's better for a woman, a younger woman to be with an older man because he had, well, let's assume that he had wisdom if he's working on himself. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, that's a good point that you. That's a good thing you point out. Was? Okay.
what was that last thing you said? That last thing?
Oh, I was just saying that I'm not sure about the last thing. I was just saying good point. I was saying good point that it's a good thing that you point that out. Women, um, older women competing with their daughters.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yo, oh my goodness. I don't know if y'all be on TikTok. I don't be on TikTok too much. Sometimes people send me stuff. I be seeing some OD. I'm talking about like 50-year-olds. Like what they call it? What they call it when they like going for attention? Thirst trapping or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about these women are gorgeous, beautiful bodies, everything. But it's like I know you not married, and I know if you are, your man not letting you be on social media looking like this because it's very inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? So that's even an example of the older women competing with the younger women and showing them just a bad example of what I guess motherhood looks like. It's just I think it's a bad example.
If, if I could pivot and bother to pivot to ask y'all another question connected to on top of the current discussion about the movie. So I just decided that I'm renaming the movie. Was it misappropriation of information? That sounds good and it rhymes. So another thing, looking at more into the movie and the history of it, the same Oyo people that were there, that the same person that had the gentleman that raped the young lady from the other tribe and they had a kid.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the Oyo people were supposed to represent the Moors. And it's another time again where when they're finally showing Moors and stuff, because we always hear about Moors in books, but we never really get to see where the Moors kind of came from, their origination. And look at one of the first introduction to big screen cinematic display that they show of the Moors as pretty much bullies, murderers, killers, and rapists, similar to like, I don't know, Roman people if you wanted to. They made our people their people all throughout the movie. They found a new way to do blackface by using actual black people with black faces to portray us and themselves now in the worst manner.
Mm.
You know, like it gave a lot. It had a lot of parts in it that like gave me the feeling as if I'm watching Birth of a Nation. That when I see the men in power in these certain places and the Moors, everybody knows that they all stated like the Moors were great travelers. They state that Christopher Columbus was only able to get to all the places where you were able to get to was because of a Moor. And we knew how intelligent and how great they were that even Shakespeare put them inside of his books when he spoke. If I'm not mistaken, I think Othello was a Moor. And now when we get introduced to them, they're grapers and murderers.
All right.
It's just another thing that I just want to say. I don't want to hate on it too much, but it's just too much, again, misappropriation of our information that they're feeding us out there. So I don't know. I just want to get y'all opinion. How do y'all feel about that if y'all didn't have that information before? And as far as the bit of research I've done, I found that how's that? I guess what are y'all opinion on that? How does that make y'all feel? Seeing that such prolific historical men now were depicted in such a manner.
AD, you have anything to say about it?
I mean, it's nothing really new under the sun. They always want to try to, throw shots at us and undermine us. But you guys gotta understand the big hand behind the puppet, because it's the white women that produced the film that had to say so, and had the little handlers. I say hate to put Davis in that category of being a handler by promoting the agenda. You know what I'm saying? But she is, because again, it's just it's just about you know uh everything is gonna be like catered to a woman, and no matter what, she can do no wrong. Like the woman, it has the accountability of a child, and wants to have the responsibilities of a man, but then want to still maintain women privileges. But you can't have that in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have it all like that. So you just got to understand, it's about it being interdependent. You know what I mean? Being one unit, being complementary to one another, and understanding that, and tapping into yourself. And it's up to women. It ain't like us fellas right now. What we can say, whatever we want to say on this panel, y'all. We can say facts, truths, statistics. We can lay everything out that every profound professor, great mind, even what we say out. At the end of the day, it's the hearts of the women and their minds and their souls to do it themselves, and to teach each other. The righteous women teaching the youth and all of that, because they already been there and done that, and they've been seasoned, and they've been grown to be the grandmothers and nature's nurturers for the society. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to put too much mustard on a hot dog as a man, but I just give my perspective, because it's really a more of a woman's thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to overstep my boundaries on that subject, and I'm treading lightly on that, out of respect for them. But at the same time, I want to still, just give my perspective, on that subject matter, since we are, indeed talking about it. So,
Yeah, Steph, I saw you on Michael Ralph earlier. You got something to say?
No, I was just gonna say if the information and everything that you're saying is correct, is it's a shame because like the Moors are one of the most intellectual set of people of color there was. Like they gave so much technology to their predecessors and to the people during that time period. And like ways of saying like a more guided Christopher Columbus to to the new world, and basically we do they basically it would be like what it did in Egypt, but they deface the noses of the Sphinx and different periods. It's like they try to hide our culture and history of what we've done for so long. And then like Waves was saying, if that's the information that they were really descendants, then it's kind of incredible that you would paint them in that kind of picture. I don't think I've read anything which said that the Moors were, you know.
There is a noteworthy. I apologize. I kind of got off topic a little bit. You wanted me to kind of go into the subject about the Moors. I do, have a little bit of, background knowledge about the Moors. They were kind of like, were handlers for like the Mussolini, because a lot of Moors were responsible for murdering a lot of African brothers and sisters, although they did teach everybody, or one of the first teachers, early teachers of ancient Africa, when it comes to how when Europeans, and like particularly in Spain and things of that sort, they built that country and society and made it industrious and taught them how to bathe and to eat and things of that sort. And you know, made the economy pretty much thrive. You know what I'm saying? But every empire, excuse me, comes to an end, though. You know what I'm saying? So like the Moors had their responsibility of doing work, noteworthy things, but also on the different side, the darker side of the Moors, they had their responsibility of doing heinous crimes against their own brothers. That's what I would say about the Moors.
Yeah, I don't know too much.
So you gotta decipher the ones that, just like any other cult, religion, group, sector, you gotta really hold people accountable for their actions. Are they righteous in their intent? What does their heart and their character say? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we gotta look at. If we're gonna judge, we gotta judge using concrete discernment. That's all I'm using, and that's what I encourage everybody else to do.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the Moors. I've read a little bit about them, but I can't really say too much about them. But I've seen pictures that I think that's, because like in the movie, they did have the thing on their head. The way they're dressed, they, like what Wave said, you know what I'm saying? They look like these guys that I've studied just a little bit on. I'm like, why are they doing this? Why are they showing that? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to discredit or whatever, because they see that, they watch, like a lot of these producers and stuff, they watch social media, they see what we do, what we post. We're trying to empower ourselves, and when they try to go against that, like, try to post, like what Wave said about the Moors, showing them killing. But like you said, AD, that they did. Like I said, I don't know too much about it, so I think everybody should do their own research and not believe everything you see. You know what I mean? Just do your own research before you see any, like, don't assume. You know what I mean? A plus.
Where and not just take our word for it, you know what I'm saying, or take anyone's word for it because they sound intelligent, but go and do your own research. The scriptures say, "Study to show thyself approved," and a lot of things is that most times we don't study, we don't read. The information is out there. You know what I'm saying? We just got to go and look for it, and then also ask for discernment so that we can decipher truth from fallacy. But back to what Waves was saying, as far as, because I don't know much about Moors, to be honest, or whatever. I would love to learn more about them, because I've never heard what Adrian said about them. I've only heard good things about them. It's like, oh, you got to look into the Moors, you got to look into the Moors, you got to look into the Moors. You know what I'm saying? So but knowing what you just said as well, Adrian, was like, okay, so I mean, there are people are not perfect, and in any group, you do have good and the bad. So it's up to us to decipher the good and the bad, basically. But you're only going to do that when you actually study, you actually search for the truth. And I think when you search for truth, God presents it to you. There's been many times where I've thought something, especially as I started to grow spiritually. And when I've thought something or I ask myself a question, like not even out loud, in my mind, I've asked this question. And hours later, a day later, maybe even a week later, the answer was given to me. So I think if we search earnestly for truth, it will be presented to us or whatever. But then there's also going to be some false with it, especially this day and age. A lot of stuff is either watered down or omitted or manipulated, and then you have to look at different things to kind of put the whole puzzle together to discover what things really are. But if that's the case, as far as the way they're presented in the movie, I didn't realize that those groups that they were supposed to be Moors. But it's good to know everything. It's good to know everything about our culture and our history so that we can move forward with with knowledge. And with knowledge and the way we working to apply that knowledge, it will empower us, so yeah.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I think it's a good conversation. Um, yeah, that's all we have tonight. But just to conclude, we started Anecdotal Man Cave for we are men and we are also black men. If you refer yourself as black, copper, or whatever, what I mean. We all had a experience, similar experience, and we want to come on here to share our own experience. Obviously, it's called Anecdotal Man Cave, and also, yeah, we wanted to just talk about not necessarily about the movie, just about comparing or just having a conversation, you know, and comparing our situation to what they show in the movies, because in the movies, that's the best way to trap the mind, to take the mind and twist it around and do whatever they want with it. When I was a kid, when I first came here to America, I was what 8. I didn't want to come here to tell the truth. No offense to anybody or whatever, just me. I just didn't want to come because I was cool in Jamaica, but I realized that at some point that I'm literally in the matrix. I didn't call it the matrix, but it didn't seem right. So I was just like, I was always quiet, trying to figure things out. And yeah, I don't know why I was talking about that, but yeah. Um, all I'm saying is that we want to share our experience, and for all the people who's watching, who's listening, we definitely want to thank you, and we appreciate it. And there's a lot more to come, um, and we definitely appreciate AD for coming through. AD has a lot of knowledge, and we want you to check out his YouTube channel. We're gonna put everything, all the information in the description. And yeah, we're looking forward to working with him again, to live. So that's what we should do, isn't it? We're just trying to show what men should do, especially black men. A lot of black men, I believe, do not respect. A lot of black men don't respect black men. There's a lot of reasons, but that could be another conversation, another podcast. That's what I believe. But when we do respect each other, things can happen. Um, things can happen. A plus, you must say something.
Oh, nah, it was just some closing statements, just some thanks and stuff like that, but you could keep going. My fault.
Oh, that's cool. I can say whatever you want. I'm just like talking because we don't really have much. I don't really try to, I try to. Doesn't matter who's watching, how many people's watching. If it's 50, if it's one. I'm trying to get this channel and just to get it out and help other people, whatever, that look like us, to get to just information, just have a conversation, because we aren't listened to as much, and when we are, I think this is kind of like a safe place. That's what I think. So, and we actually have a cave. all men should have a cave. We actually do have a cave. It could be a video game, or it could be like just chill and watch. Because most men want peace. I mean, we want to just chill. We coming from outside, from working. A lot of us, we do work in the matrix. So, I mean, it is what it is. Not all of us can be. We all can be entrepreneurs, or doing. That's one thing I want to get into too. Those things, but yeah, I don't want to keep going on, but yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone that's on the panel. Steph Lover, 5-6 Waves, A Plus, and AD. And you guys want to say some last words, something?
Yo, as Simba said, I just want to thank everybody for being here, for Vegan Simba, 5-6 Waves, Seth Love, and myself, for coming on here every week to take time out of our day and our lives to just share our experiences, and hopefully our experiences can encourage someone and inspire someone else to just be a better man, because that's the journey that we all on. And a special thanks to Adrian for taking time out of his schedule as well, for making sure he could be on here to drop some knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely picking up the gems you was dropping, brother. And we appreciate you and we thank you. Thank you for the subscribers, for the people listening. Like and subscribe, share it. If you got a comment, you want to expand on a thought, leave a comment. We will answer your questions and we'll talk about it and we can have a discussion, So thank everybody. Thank y'all.
All right. So yeah, thanks again, guys. My name is Vegan Simba. Once again, we have Steph Lover, A Plus, 5-6 Waves, and our guest, AD, on the panel. Please like, subscribe, share, follow our community page, our Instagram. Yeah, thank you. Good night. Good morning, wherever you are. Peace.